Well, she is an author, an actress, a songwriter, and a singer with a new CD out called Tender Moments with God. Civil rights activist and evangelist Alveda King is a woman who's known for her many gifts, including her talent as an amazing cook. Take a look.
Alveda King is the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the daughter of Reverend A.D. King. Alveda's family carries on the holiday traditions of her grandparents, Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. and Alberta Williams. The Williams King family celebrates by singing around the piano, posing for caricature drawings of the family, and of course, eating food, and more food. Most importantly, it all centers around the gift of Jesus Christ. In her cookbook, Gigi's Home for the Holidays, Alveda shares her family's delicious holiday recipes that bring laughter, love, and joy to their holiday table.
Well, she's brought all her food with her. Welcome back to the 700 Club, Alveda King, also known as Gigi.
My Gigi also.
Yeah,
You're Gigi too.
I'm Gigi too.
You're wonderful. Yeah.
We're sharing that name, right?
Yes.
Well, I want you to share a little bit about your family's holiday and paint the picture for us. How many of you actually get together?
Every year there's so many of us, and we begin during Thanksgiving even.
Wow.
And so my own family, there are 6 living children, 10 grandchildren, the cousins and friends. So the house could have as many as few as 15 and as many as 35.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And all of these people gathering together in such a wonderful atmosphere, because cooking in the kitchen is one of your best Christmas blessings that you talk about that exist in your family. But share some of the other favorites with you, because you kind of all participate in all of this.
Well, we do musically. Many of us are musical. We all pray, and that's the most important part. And then many of us are cooks, from the adults down to the little children.
Really?
And we're going to do a favorite in a minute, the Cornish hens. We'll talk about those. And then one of our new dishes. But in our family with the Cornish hens, everybody has their own recipe. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, we do. Some people stuff it with the apples, the oranges, the raisins, or whatever. Wow. And so it's just a tradition to see who does the best Cornish hen.
What's your favorite tradition? Because you have so many that...
My favorite tradition is to get together, to do the fellowship, to sing and to pray together, play games together, and then everybody brings the covered dish, and we talk about how they made it. And we do that from Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas.
Wow. Wow. Well, you're going to talk about your Christmas meal, the big meal, here today with all of us. Let's move down here and start with the Cornish hens, because they are such a fun way to celebrate a special event. They're beautiful.
They really are. And I know you do that in your family, too.
I do. I love it.
And Cornish hens are one of the easier dishes to do, but they're very festive. And we have here garnished with the kale and the cranberries. And this one is done with a rice stuffing. Mm-hmm. But as I say, you can use the citrus. You can use the apples. You can even stuff with the cranberries. They have to be golden brown. And let me give you one tip on how I do that. After we do all the seasonings over it, spray it with a light olive oil. And when they roast, you get that beautiful color.
And the fragrance in your home, so wonderful when they're baking, isn't it? This is a gorgeous salad, and people are so into doing something healthy and nutritious. In fact, everything we're showing here is really pretty healthy. So talk about this.
Well, what we do with this particular salad, we have the kale, the carrots, and then we have the beet spirals, and I see the winter squash along with the carrots. And what we're doing, I'm sensitive to tomatoes. And so how can you make a delicious dish without tomatoes? The squashes and the parsnips and all of that can go along with it. And so we see all this beautiful array here. I see actually some avocado, but I just tell people, make your favorite salad. Make it very pretty and include it in your dish.
Yeah, that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then you've got some steamed broccoli, and you know, we're honoring George H.W. Bush, and he hated broccoli. I know, but your broccoli looks delicious.
Well, what happens, even with my own children and grandchildren, they weren't favorite. You know, broccoli wasn't their favorite, and they always wanted to smother it with cheese and everything. But I find out when I prepare it, And I do the same thing with just a little lemon seasoning and garlic, and then spray that olive oil over it and either saute it very quickly. And when you do that, or sometimes I roast it in the oven as well. And it makes, and you steam it, roast it, or whatever. Don't boil it because that changes the flavor.
Yes, takes all the vitamins out of it too, right? And what is this?
The crostata. And this one we're going to do today, actually, with all these wonderful ingredients here.
Okay.
But it's a very festive dish. You can make it savory. You can make it vegetarian. You can do it with the meat. And you can even do it with your sweets, your sweet potatoes or apples. But it's a very simple recipe.
Okay, let's talk about how you put that all together here.
All right. Well, we've got our ingredients here. And I'll admit this, Terry. Sometimes I'm real busy. I can cut and cube and get them ready, or I can go to my favorite store.
I knew I loved you.
So they do the work for you, and it's more, the cuts are more consistent, so it just depends on your level of what you want to do.
This looks really familiar to me. This is how I buy mine.
That's what I do. I buy it that way. So we do olive oil and butter, and I know this is a little rich, and that's okay, because you have to have a little delicious fat in your food. So you warm up your butter and your olive oil just a little bit, and once that begins to melt, you're gonna, the oven is just kind of popping. I was trying to figure out how to get it not to do that.
It's just the noise this thing makes.
Okay,
it likes to talk while we're
okay, and the pan is really warm, as it should be. Now, you see me doing this, but I'm used to doing it. Don't just lay your hand on there, because that would be a dangerous thing to do.
Thank you.
Okay, but I just checked to see how warm the pan is.
Now, this is butternut squash.
This is your butternut squash. This one, we're doing a vegan one today, except we are going to do a little cheese on top. But you can do it with or without the cheese. Okay. So we have our butternut squash. You know, some people like Brussels sprouts. You like it?
Brussels sprouts,
okay, some people do, some don't.
So they're strong, but they're good.
They really are, and they're very good for you. A lot of fiber, a lot of vitamins in those. I'm going to take this up a little bit to see if that'll help. And we're going to put our onions. I like the red onions.
I do too.
See, because they're very flavorful. But you can do the shallots. You can do chives,
that would be good
anything from the onion family, and your own special seasonings that you like and that you prefer. And so what we do, we don't want to cook these too long because they have to go in the oven and they're going to cook some more. Okay. But we just want them to kind of just saute gently in the oil and in the butter.
Oh, it smells so wonderful.
It really does. And you have salt and pepper to taste, a pinch of salt. We talk about that. That's just to taste the ones that you like. And some people like more, some people like less. And you have your salt and your pepper. And once you saute these down, I see my butter is melted. You just really want to get to release the flavors of that in your oil and in your butter.
Now you have
the pie crust is here. And so once you get all of this kind of blended and mixed, you get it in there, and we've got our almonds today. So nuts, these are optional, because some people can't have nuts, they have nut allergies. So you have your filling. You can leave that out if you want to, right? This is your filling, it's to taste. And in the cookbook, we give all of these various options and what you can do. Now here's the trick. We've got enough to make 2 today, but let's just kind of go on with 1 now. Okay, now this is sauteed. You see it's beginning to
it looks beautiful. The color of everything, and
isn't it pretty?
Gorgeous.
It's so festive, such a holiday look.
So you're just going to spoon
fill
that in
inside.
Oh,
just enough to fill it. We have enough for 2, as I say. Now, why don't you help me scallop this? Come on, we're going to come across and begin to just kind of just like that. Just pinch it because you want to leave the center slightly exposed. And we're going to scallop it here. Okay. And we're going to leave it exposed. We're going to pull a little bit back here. Okay. And see how pretty that is? That's the shape of it. And you can make 2 or 3 of these at once. You scallop it across. All right. Yeah, fold it. And we have to get that in the oven.
I'm going to put it in the oven, and I'm going to show
turn
you
this
what it looks like when it's done.
Get that done. All right.
Whoa. Ooh, look at this.
And we're going to get this one out.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I know your hands are used to heat, but you're not used to this kind of heat.
Okay, I'm going to let you handle that.
Let me carry it.
All right.
Oh, look at that. That's a work of art.
Now, we bake this one with the cheese on it, but you can leave the cheese off for those who are sensitive to the cheeses. That's the goat cheese there, and we could do that. Now, once it comes out, we're not done. Can you pass that arugula over?
Oh, yes, I can.
All right, then we're going to get this on a plate.
Oh, here, how about this? Well, this is...
It's a little plate, but that's okay. And get it off of there. Okay, don't break on me. Well, it might, so let's just do it this way.
Okay.
Now, because if I were at home, I could pick it up a little bit, and here we go.
Oh,
We're
yes.
gonna do it like this. This comes out.
I love this part. That's awesome.
We've got one that is done
All
on
done, so you
a
can
plate.
see, but look how
so you
beautiful
see
it
it begins to
Yes,
look like
it
that. That's the
does.
look of it.
And you've got-
it comes out like this finally, and this is with the cheese or without the cheese. So it's just real
Beautiful.
pretty.
I vote with. You've got wassail and this amazing dessert. These are all in the cookbook.
They're in the cookbook, and really fast, that's called a trifle in the traditional name for it. But modern ladies now call it a punch bowl cake. So they take their pound cake.
That's just because they didn't know if it was
Just
triple,
they weren't
trifle, or
sure or
truffle.
not. So they call it punch bowl cake, but it's really a trifle. And so you layer it with your favorite cake and your fruits, and you just come on
It's
up with
all
that.
so pretty, and it's all in Alveda's book. It's called Gigi's Home for the Holidays Cookbook. It's got a new red cover edition that's being released on December 15th, so you're getting some of the first of it here. Plus, she has a new CD available just in time for Christmas. It's called Tender Moments Alone with God. Both the cookbook and the CD are available wherever books or music are sold. Merry
Absolutely.
Christmas,
Merry
my
Christmas,
friend. It's great to have you
everybody.
here.
Thank you.